I remember perfectly the day I realized that something in my life had to change. It was a cold morning, and I could barely get out of bed. The pain in my knees was so intense that climbing even a single step had become a challenge that made me break into a sweat. I sat on the edge of the bed and felt the exhaustion and frustration fall on me like a weight. For years, I had tried everything: pain pills, miracle creams that promised to reduce swelling immediately, even costly physiotherapy sessions. Some things helped me for a couple of days, but I always ended up in the same place: constant pain, stiffness, and the feeling that my body was betraying me. In that moment, I started to believe that maybe this was how the rest of my life would be, that I would have to accept pain as my new normal. But something inside me refused to give up. I could not resign myself to spending my final years depending on others to walk, to go to the store, or to step outside for some fresh air. I had to find another way. That was when a close friend, who had always shared health tips with me, told me about a drink he took every morning. He said it had changed his life, that after a few weeks he felt his joints lighter and could move again without pain. At first I was skeptical. How could a simple drink do what doctors and treatments had not been able to achieve? Even so, I was so desperate to get better that I decided to try it. What happened next surprised me. Day by day I started to notice small changes: less swelling when I woke up, fewer crunching sounds when I bent my knees, and most of all, more energy to move. After several weeks, I could walk without feeling like I had knives in my knees. Climbing stairs stopped being torture and became a normal activity again. In this video, I want to tell you exactly what is in that drink, how I prepare it step by step, and why I believe it works so well. I will share my full experience so that you can try it too, always with your doctor's approval. You do not have to resign yourself to living with pain. There are ways to regain your mobility and your joy. Before we begin, I would love to get to know you a little better. Tell me in the comments how many years old you are and from which country you are watching me. It makes me really happy to know where you are joining me from. Understanding. Knee pain. For many years, I thought knee pain was simply part of getting older. When I turned 70 years old, the pain was bearable, just a slight reminder that I should walk more carefully. But over time, that pain became more and more constant, to the point that it was with me from the moment I woke up until the moment I went to bed. And it was not just me. Talking with friends and acquaintances my age, I discovered that many were living the same thing: stiff knees, popping sounds when they moved, pain when standing up from a chair. Most of the doctors I spoke with explained that there are several causes for this. The first is the wear of the cartilage, that sort of cushion that protects the joint. As the years go by, that protection becomes thinner, and the bones begin to rub more against each other. That friction causes pain, inflammation, and in some cases, even swelling. The second common cause is chronic inflammation. It is not a specific injury, but a low-grade inflammation that stays over time and slowly damages the joint. Finally, there is the loss of muscle mass. With age, the muscles that support the knee weaken, and without that support, the joint bears all the weight, which increases the pain. I want you to imagine for a moment how this affects daily life. It is not just pain, it is how it limits the simplest things. Going to the bathroom becomes a challenge. Going out to the store becomes something you have to plan in advance. And we are not even talking about activities that used to be pleasant, like walking in the park, taking care of the garden, or playing with the grandchildren. When your knees hurt, you start saying no to many invitations, and little by little, your world becomes smaller. I went through that myself. I stopped going out for my morning walks, something I had done since I was young. I also started avoiding family gatherings that required climbing stairs. I remember a day when my grandchildren asked me to play with them on the floor. I felt helpless when I realized that I could not kneel down without feeling a stabbing pain. It was not only my body that suffered, my mood did too. I felt old, useless, and even a bit isolated. But there is something I discovered along the way that changed my perspective. We must not accept pain as an inevitable destiny. Yes, it is true that the body ages and wear is natural, but it is also true that there are ways to care for the joints, reduce inflammation, and strengthen the muscles so we can move again with less pain. The key is to understand what is happening in our body and to take small, consistent, and conscious actions. This is the foundation of everything I want to share in this video. Before I talk about the drink that helped me, it is important to understand that pain does not appear from one day to the next, and that if we face it with changes in our diet, movement, and daily habits, we can regain part of the quality of life we think we have lost. The search for solutions. After accepting that my knee pain was not going to disappear on its own, I began a true odyssey in search of relief. The first step was to go to my primary care doctor. He prescribed painkillers to control the pain, and at first, they were a relief. For a few days, I could move more easily and even went out to walk around the neighborhood. But soon I discovered that this solution was only temporary. After a few hours, the pain came back with the same intensity, and I also started to notice side effects like stomach discomfort and extreme tiredness. I did not want to spend the rest of my life depending on pills. The next option I tried was cortisone injections. I remember the first injection. The relief was almost immediate, and I thought I had finally found the definitive solution. However, the effect lasted only a couple of weeks, and the pain came back even stronger. The doctor warned me that it was not advisable to abuse that treatment, because over time, it could damage the cartilage in the joints even more. I felt frustrated, as if I had taken one step forward and two steps back. I also tried physiotherapy. For months, I attended sessions twice a week where they had me do exercises to strengthen the leg muscles and gave me massages to improve circulation. I will not deny that it helped me stay moving, but as soon as I stopped the sessions because of vacations or lack of time, the pain returned. I felt like I was in a never-ending cycle, spending money and energy on something that gave me temporary relief, but did not solve the underlying problem. That was when I began to read more about chronic inflammation and its relationship with joint pain. I discovered that what we eat can have a huge impact on how our knees feel. I found testimonies from people who had reduced their pain by changing their diet, adding anti-inflammatory foods like turmeric, ginger, nuts, and certain vegetables, and cutting out ultra-processed foods and excess sugar. I remember one afternoon when, while looking for information in health magazines, I found an article that talked about scientific studies supporting this idea. Researchers had observed that people who followed a diet rich in antioxidants and healthy fats had less pain and less joint deterioration over time. That gave me hope. If food could have so much influence, maybe there was something I could do every day to improve. It was at that point that I decided I did not want to depend only on medication or invasive treatments. I started researching recipes, drinks, and habits that could help reduce inflammation naturally. Little by little, I tried different combinations until I found one that changed my life. But before I tell you the ingredients of that drink, I want you to understand the path I took to get there, because what matters is not only the recipe, but the commitment to changing the way we care for our body. Main ingredients and their benefits. Before I tell you exactly how I prepare the drink, I want you to understand why each ingredient is so important. It is not a random mix, but a combination designed to attack pain at its root, inflammation, lack of lubrication in the joint, and the weakness of the tissues that support it. The first star ingredient is turmeric. This golden spice is known for its powerful anti-inflammatory effect. It contains curcumin, a compound that, according to several studies, helps reduce inflammation in the joints in a way similar to certain medications, but without their long-term side effects. In addition, turmeric promotes circulation and helps nutrients reach the knees more easily. Boost its effect. I always combine it with a pinch of black pepper, which improves the absorption of curcumin in the body. The second ingredient is fresh ginger. Ginger not only adds a pleasant, spicy flavor, but it is also an excellent natural anti-inflammatory. It contains gingerols, compounds that reduce morning stiffness and improve joint mobility. It also aids digestion and helps the body absorb the vitamins and minerals from the other ingredients. I also include seeds rich in omega-3, such as chia or ground flaxseed. These healthy fats are essential for keeping the joints lubricated and reducing the silent inflammation that damages cartilage over time. They also provide fiber, which improves digestion and helps maintain a healthy weight, something fundamental to avoid overloading the knees. Vitamin C is another pillar of this drink. I provide this vitamin with the juice of half a lemon or with pieces of orange. Vitamin C is key for the production of collagen, the component that keeps the tendons and ligaments around the knee strong. Strong connective tissue means a more stable and less painful joint. I cannot forget warm water, which is the base of it all. It may seem simple, but staying hydrated is essential for the joints. Cartilage is like a sponge that needs fluid to remain flexible. When we are dehydrated, that sponge dries out and the friction between the bones increases, which raises the pain. Drinking this beverage in the morning on an empty stomach also helps activate the digestive system and eliminate toxins accumulated during the night. Lastly, I add a touch of natural honey. It not only improves the taste, but also provides antioxidant compounds that help fight cellular damage and reduce inflammation. In addition, honey has a calming effect that makes this drink a pleasant experience instead of a bitter obligation. This combination of ingredients works together. It reduces inflammation, nourishes the tissues, improves circulation, and keeps the joints hydrated. It is not magic. It is science put into practice in a simple and accessible way for every day. Understanding this is what motivated me to be consistent and not give up after the first few days without immediate results. How to prepare it? Step by step. Now that you know the ingredients and why they work, I want you to see how simple it is to prepare this drink at home. You do not need complicated equipment or expensive products. You only need consistency and a few minutes each morning. First, I heat 1 large cup of water, just enough so that it is warm but not boiling. Water that is too hot can destroy some of the beneficial compounds in the ingredients. Then, I add half a teaspoon of turmeric powder. If you have the fresh root, you can grate it and use a small piece, about the size of a thumbnail. Next, I add a pinch of freshly ground black pepper, no more than the tip of a small spoon, because its only function is to help the body absorb the turmeric more effectively. Next, I grate a small piece of fresh ginger, about 2 or 3 centimeters long, and mix it into the water. If you do not like it so spicy, you can reduce the amount or use a couple of thin slices. Then, I add 1 tablespoon of chia seeds or ground flaxseed. If you use chia, let the drink rest for a few minutes until a light gel forms. This gel is very good for lubricating the intestines and improving digestion. I squeeze the juice of half a lemon or add pieces of orange to provide vitamin C. And finally, I sweeten it with 1 teaspoon of natural honey. I stir well until all the ingredients are mixed. It is important to drink it warm and preferably on an empty stomach so that the body can absorb the nutrients better and start the day hydrated. A practical tip: if you have little time in the mornings, you can leave the dry ingredients ready in a cup the night before, and in the morning, just add the warm water, the fresh lemon, and the honey. Now, a very important point: even though all these ingredients are natural, do not stop consulting your doctor before you start if you are taking blood thinners, medication for high blood pressure, or diabetes medication. Some spices can enhance or interfere with those treatments, and it is best to do this safely. When you begin, do not get discouraged if you do not notice results immediately. This drink is support for your body to reduce inflammation gradually. Think of it as a daily investment in your health. Noticeable changes. After several weeks, consistency is what makes the difference. During the first few days, I wondered if it was really working, but I kept drinking it every morning. By the end of the first week, I noticed that my knees were not as stiff when I woke up. In the second week, I could walk slightly longer distances without having to stop. The swelling slowly went down, and by the third week, the sharp pain when climbing stairs had almost completely disappeared. One of the most beautiful changes was that I stopped depending on my cane to move around the house. Being able to walk freely gave me back a sense of youth and independence that I had lost. Even my sleep improved. Before, I would wake up in the middle of the night because of knee pain when I moved in bed, and that left me exhausted the next day. Over time, I started sleeping through the night and waking up more rested. What motivated me the most was seeing that it was not just my experience. After I told some friends about the drink, they decided to try it too. A neighbor, who suffers from osteoarthritis in both knees, told me that by the 4th week, she was able to resume her morning walks without having to stop every few minutes. Another friend confessed that he went back to playing with his grandchildren in the park, something he had not done for years because of the pain. These testimonies confirmed to me that it was not just a psychological effect, but a real change in the body. The important thing is to stay consistent and to accompany this drink with healthy habits, such as moving a little every day and watching your diet. If you decide to try this recipe, give yourself at least 1 month to evaluate the results. Every body is different, but in my experience, the changes become more evident after several weeks. The key is not to give up too soon. Combining it with healthy habits. Although this drink was the starting point of my recovery, I soon realized that if I wanted to maintain the results, I had to accompany it with changes in my lifestyle. The first change was to start strengthening the muscles around my knees. When the thigh and calf muscles are strong, they protect the joint better and reduce the direct load on the cartilage. I did not jump into complicated exercises. I began with something as simple as slowly sitting down and standing up from a chair without forcing myself. I did 3 sets of 10 repetitions every morning, always listening to my body. Then, I added short walks of about 10 to 15 minutes, first inside the house and then in the park. Over time, I included stretching exercises, like placing my hands on the wall and stretching my calves or moving my ankles in circles to improve circulation. I also adjusted my diet. I cut back on sugar and refined flour, which are known to increase inflammation. I started eating more leafy green vegetables, fish rich in healthy fats like salmon, and small portions of nuts. I discovered that when I kept my weight stable, my knees felt much lighter, as if they were carrying less. In addition, I made sure to stay hydrated during the day. Water is essential to keep cartilage flexible and to ensure that the nutrients from the drink reach where they need to go. I even improved my posture. I learned not to spend too many hours sitting, and every hour I would stand up to walk a few steps. What I want to convey to you is that this drink is powerful, but it is not a miracle by itself. It is part of a set of habits that, together, make the pain decrease and mobility return. If you combine it with movement, good nutrition, and rest, the results can be even better than you expect. Common mistakes that sabotage your recovery. On my journey, I also learned that there are things that, without realizing it, can undo all your effort. The first big mistake is a sedentary lifestyle. When the pain is intense, the temptation to stay seated or in bed is very strong, but that only makes the problem worse. The muscles weaken and the joint loses mobility, which creates even more pain. The second mistake is not taking care of your body weight. Every extra kilogram is a direct load on your knees and over time accelerates cartilage wear. Maintaining a healthy weight is not only about appearance, it is a way of protecting your joints. Another very common mistake is overusing anti-inflammatory pills. Taking them continuously without medical supervision can damage your stomach, kidneys, and even your heart. That is why, although pills can be useful in moments of intense pain, they should not be the only solution or a daily habit. There are also several myths about knees that we need to leave behind. Some people say that if you have pain, you should not move at all, when in reality, gentle movement is what keeps the joint healthy. Others believe that pain is something normal with age and that nothing can be done, which is simply not true. Finally, you have to avoid sudden movements and excessive loads. Do not try to lift heavy weights without supervision, and do not do high-impact exercises without previous preparation. Give your body time to get stronger little by little. Avoiding these mistakes is just as important as drinking the beverage or exercising. A good habit is useless if another one is sabotaging it. What we are looking for is balance and consistency, not quick fixes that only relieve you for a few days. After all this journey, I can tell you honestly that this drink changed my life. I went from waking up every morning afraid of the pain to being able to move freely and to regain many of the activities I had given up. It was not a quick or magical process, but it was consistent. Every sip I took was a reminder that I was taking care of myself, that I had not given up. I learned that health does not depend on a single thing. This drink was the doorway, but the real change came when I combined it with good habits, moving every day, taking care of my diet, resting better, and listening to my body's signals. I understood that inflammation and pain are not inevitable punishments of age, but a wake-up call to take better care of our lifestyle. I want you to keep one message in mind. It is never too late to improve your quality of life. It does not matter if you are 60, 70, or 80 years old. There's always something you can do to reduce pain, regain mobility, and enjoy what you love again. It may seem like a small effort at first, but those small changes add up and end up transforming your day-to-day life. If you decide to try this drink, do it with confidence, but also with responsibility. Talk to your doctor, especially if you already take medication for blood pressure, for your blood, or for any chronic condition. Every body is different, and it is important to make sure that everything you do is safe for you. Now I would love to hear from you. Tell me in the comments if you plan to try this drink or if you have already tried any natural remedy for knee pain. Share your experience, because what you say may help others who are going through the same thing. And if this video has inspired or motivated you, subscribe to the channel so you will not miss more tips and strategies to live your later years with less pain and more joy. Remember, taking care of your body is a way of honoring your life. Do it every day, step by step, and you will see how your knees, your energy, and your mood will thank you.